Pleasant good day to our listening and viewing audience. Welcome to the Facebook Live series brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. My name is Bertrand BDC, Forester 2, attached to the Forest Resource Inventory and Management Unit of the Forestry Division. My colleague next to me is Mr. Rajiv Ganesh, Forester 1, also attached to the Forestry Resource Inventory and Management Unit of the Forestry Division. Our topic today is understanding the link between the Forestry Division and the commercial timber industry. Firstly, I will have Mr. Ganesh give us a brief introduction into our topic today.
Good day, everybody. For further reference, we also refer to the Forest Resource Inventory and Management section as the FRIM section. So you'll see it showing up as FRIM section. During the period 1978 to 1980, the Forestry Division contracted an international firm to conduct its first national forest inventory. One of the recommendations made by this firm was the formation of the Forest Resource Inventory and Management section, or the FRIM section. In 1980, this new and vibrant section replaced the Planning and Management Unit and absorbed the Drawing Office. Since inception, it is said that FRIM is the engine room of forestry, and it is in this vein that FRIM section has adopted the mission and vision of the Forestry Division. The vision of the Forestry Division, which is derived from the National Forest Policy, which states, Trinidad and Tobago embraces a vision of national development in which forests are abundant, ecologically healthy, biologically diverse, and contributing to the well-being of all people and to national economy in current and future generation. The mission of the Forestry Division is to maximize the potential of the forest resources which provide desired goods and services for our nation. There are approximately 130 sawmills in Trinidad and Tobago, which are all governed by the Sawmills Act, Chapter 6602, and enforced by the Forestry Division. By law, they are required to be licensed and must abide to the terms and conditions of the issuance of such a license.
The benefit of our presentation today, we'll have some keywords. In order to accurately interpret our discussion, one shall be familiar with the following keywords as defined in the Sawmills Act, Chapter 66, Note 2. First, one of the keywords we have is sawmill, and definition based on the Sawmills Act includes every sawmill compound and every breakdown saw or mill designed and used to break down and convert logs into boards, planks, or scantings, or to restore the boards, planks, or scantings into smaller dimensions. Secondly, sawmill compound. This is an area, whether enclosed or not, used to operate one or more sawmills. Sawmill license. This means a license to operate a sawmill issued by the conservator under the provisions of this Act, the Sawmills Act. Owner, in this respect, of a sawmill includes any person having possession thereof. Licensee means a person who is the holder of a sawmill license issued under this Act. According to the Sawmills Act 6602, here are some very important guidelines that shall always be adhered to. No sawmill shall be operated except by a person duly licensed under this Act. 2. A separate application shall be made and a separate license shall be granted in respect of each sawmill.
So each sawmill, what they refer to as, whether it's specific to machinery or compound?
Sawmills are considered, when the Forestry Division looks at sawmills, we look at the machinery. These are what we license, the machinery, not the compound. Okay. The sawmill license shall be as neatly as may be in a form set out and signed by the conservator and shall expire on the 31st of December of each year during which it is granted.
So if at mid-year I apply for a license, will that roll over to the following year? So like
no, at the 31st of December, that license will expire and you'll need to apply for a new license at the 1st of January of the following year.
Okay.
Right, so it's a calendar 12-month period. The license is valid for any part thereof, right? And then you apply for a new license.
Okay.
The fee for a sawmill license shall be $2,000 for a year or part of that year. Most importantly, a sawmill license shall not be transferable. Sawmill application. The Conservator of Forests, in accordance with the Sawmills Act, Section 4.4, may grant a license to operate a sawmill under the following terms and conditions. Application form F19 to be filled out and submitted by the owner of the sawmill. We'll look at that later on in the presentation. Application form F19 must be accompanied by sawmill returns, which gives a total of input and output quantities processed for the past year and is derived from the sawmill's register. We'll look at the record keeping of the sawmill owner, the respective sawmill books that he's supposed to have records in later on in the presentation. Sawmill inspection report, which must be checked by the Forester 1 in charge of the particular range in which the sawmill is located and must be countersigned and recommended by the Forester 3 and Assistant Conservator of Forests for the respective conservancy that that sawmill is located in. A copy of the license for the previous year, if one was applied for, you're supposed to submit that also in the package for sawmill license. A layout plan of the compound must be submitted by indicating the log yard, lumber yard, waste disposal area, the milling area, and the office. The sawmill owner must clearly identify the area of his or her sawmill compound. The sawmill compound must not be less than 10,000 square feet in size, and proof of ownership and a cadastral sheet is required to accompany this application. All land and building taxes shall be paid. Receipt of payment for the previous year should be submitted. The application for a sawmill license must be accompanied by all relevant approvals such as EMA, Town and Country, Occupational Safety and Health, and the Regional Corporation.
So if I was to go and buy a portable mill, I could get it licensed too?
No, Mr. Ganesh. A portable sawmill is the possession of a portable sawmill is all well and good, but the operation of a portable sawmill under the Sawmills Act is a no-no. In regards to that, there are criteria set out for a sawmill license that we will be dealing with. So firstly, a sawmill is supposed to be stationary, supposed to encompass the 10,000 square feet of land, right? With a portable sawmill that you'll be buying from one of these retailers out there, modified also, it cannot be stationary, right? It doesn't encompass the acreage of land that is required, and it does not have the other layouts of our sawmill compound.
Oh, so I can buy it, but I can't use it.
Yeah, possession of a portable sawmill is not the issue with the Sawmills Act, but operating a sawmill without a license is an offense. So you will get into some technical problems there.
Okay.
I'll briefly go through the application for a sawmill license, form F19. Some of the things that comes up from time to time with us at the FRIM unit is the application information, applicant information, and the ownership details. That's 1 and 2, as you can see here. That's the name, the first one, number 1, speaks to the name of the applicant, right? The address of the applicant, right, who's applying for the sawmill. Ownership details, name of sawmill, that's the name that the company is registered on or the sawmill is registered under, and the address and description of the sawmill compound inclusive of land. So this will tell you where the sawmill is located, because the owner or the operator may be residing in one area and the sawmill is in another area. So we like to get specific and exact and accurate information in regards to this. Right? Inclusive of lands, meaning acreage and the title, right? Contact information, very brief, very accurate. Name of ownership of sawmill, date of ownership of sawmill, sorry, number 5, which speaks to private company, partnership, cooperative society, or other specified, right? In the event of an agent, please fill out the following section: name of agent, address of agent, contact information of agent. Operational details. Vehicles currently utilized at the compound. These will include trucks, tractors, loaders. In regards to any vehicle that you will have on your compound, that will be utilized for the sawmill operation. And utilized at the sawmill. Most importantly, at this section is the head rig. This is the actual sawmill. And what we look for is the serial number of the sawmill, which is very important. Sometimes the mills are so old and we cannot clearly identify. We ask applicants to make sure and have documented proof to show the serial number and the model of your head rig, right? And we have the accompanying other equipment that they may have at the sawmill. Some of the bigger sawmills may have all these items here. Number 9, other regulatory approvals. Please indicate whether any of the following approvals in relation to the operation of this sawmill have been applied for and or granted or denied by the following regulatory bodies. In our experience, a lot of sawmillers do not get these approvals. And we ask now that we want to see these approvals being attached to the application.
So where you get these approvals?
Mr. Ganesh, very good question. Each regulatory body here, you make your application to them, and they will grant you the necessary approvals based on a visit to your sawmill, and they do an inspection, and they will grant you the necessary approvals, which you will attach copies to the application when you're making the application available to the Conservancy to get to the FRIM section. Right. Other details are very precise and exact. Have you ever been the recipient of a sawmill license? If yes, say that. If no, continue. Has the applicant or the agent of a sawmill been charged with an offense relating to the Sawmills Act? Very important. We'll have the records from the respective conservancy. If you were ever charged, we will know. So we cannot fabricate any false information here. Have the applicant or the agent of the sawmill been recipient of the units of state-owned timber in the previous 5 years? Basically, sale of teak and pine in the last 5 years. We would like to know what year and the units that was allocated to you. Number of laborers employed on the sawmill. That will come into the sawmill returns also. We'll have that later on in the presentation. With regards to the operation of the sawmill, is the sawmill currently engaged in the exportation of lumber? Yes or no? If yes, could you tell us what was the most recent you had exported or timber? So you know. Other relevant details, if any, you separate sheet of what required. And then you have a declaration here where you, the applicant, dates and signs saying that the information is true and correct. At the back of it, the final page speaks to the application for sawmill license guidelines, which we went through previously and already discussed. Issuance of license. Pursuant to the Sawmills Act, Chapter 6602, each license issued to a sawmill expires on the 31st day of December of the year during which it is granted. We spoke about that already, that a license is for any part of the year, the 12-month period. If it taken out in the middle of the year, say June, it ends at the 31st of December, you have to reapply in January for another license. Sawmill license are annual license and become due on January 1st of any year. Failure to do so means that a sawmill will be deemed to be operating without a license and is liable to a fine of $100,000 and imprisonment for 1 year, according to the Sawmills Act, Chapter 6602, and amended by Act Number 24 of 1999. Pursuant to the Sawmills Act, Chapter 6602, no person shall operate a sawmill unless he is duly authorized under this Act. Most importantly, a sawmill license is not transferable. So you can't give your cousin to say, you to run the sawmill this year, next year. A sawmill license is not transferable. Here we have a copy of a license to operate a sawmill. And you could see that what I spoke about earlier, at the top, very top, we have the name of the applicant, his address, then in the county of Trinidad and Tobago being the owner of whatever sawmill, the name that the sawmill is registered under, situated at where the actual sawmill, the location where the sawmill is resided, where it's located, right? Is hereby licensed to operate such a sawmill. The license will expire on the 31st day of December 2015. And for arbitrarily thing,
Whichever year,
yeah, you can see that this one was
2015,
issued
just for reference.
just for reference on February 30th, right? We know that there's not a 30 days in February, right? And here we have the conservator of forest signing off, right?
Right, so the terms and conditions involved with this are these terms and conditions made pursuant to Section 4.4 of the Sawmill Act as follows. Sawmill compound should include the following minimal components: log yard, lumber yard, waste disposal areas, milling area, the administrative office, equipment to process logs into boards, plant or scantlings at a rate of 800 board feet per 24 hours, or equipment also to resaw boards, planks, or scantlings into boards, plant, or scantlings of smaller dimensions. Records to be kept. Form A, sawmill record of all incoming logs to the sawmill compound of both private lands or state lands. Form B, sawmill record, conversion detail of all logs originating from private lands. Form C, sawmill record, conversion of details of teak or pine logs originating from state land. All logs, whether requiring removal permits or not, must be entered in the sawmill records. Form A and conversion details of the same must be entered in either Form B or C as required. Where logs not requiring removal permit enter the compound, the section in the records for the removal permit number will remain blank, but other information must be entered. All records must be kept up to date and in good condition on the sawmill compound for the inspection on the request of the conservator of forests or his agents. Section 8.2 Sawmill Act Chapter 6602. In addition to sawmill records Form A, B, and C, a record of the number of removal permits, the date of issue, and the name of the officer who issued the same must be kept in accordance with Section 8A Sawmill Act 6602 for inspection on the request of the conservator of forests or his agents. Form A sawmill record. This is one of how the form looks. Form A sawmill record in common logs, private and state lands. Entry listing number, date of log brought in the compound, the name and address of the owner, origin of logs, identification mark on logs, removal permit number, species of logs, whether it's local name, or you can refer to it as the scientific name too. Dimension of logs, volume of logs, and the vehicle number which brought it in.
And Mr. Ganesh, just for general information, all this information here is derived from the removal permit that was issued for the particular material. So it's easy to access this information to put it into this record. These are not really forms, but it's really supposed to be books that are drawn up, notebooks that are drawn up, that are kept in the possession of the sawmill at all times in the compound at all times.
Form B sawmill record now. Private land conversion record. And a very similar date of log sown, entry listing number, date logs brought in the compound, name address of owner of the logs, species of logs, dimensions of logs, number of log, dimension, board feet, total, and remarks.
Okay. So this Form B is just a breakdown of Form A, in that the raw material that came in the sawmill from the relevant, maybe private or state land, right? This is where it's cut up, so you'll have a continuous flow of the conversion from that raw material that you bought in, the raw logs you bought into the sawmill in form, so you enter that in form book A, and book B is where the conversion of whatever dimensions you cut up in you get, and you will get an output of board feet from those cubical logs, right? Okay.
And Form C sawmill record, state land, teak and pine, forest reserves conversion records. Date, entry list and number, date logs brought into the compound, permit number, number of log dimension, the board feet it produced, total, and any remarks about it.
Okay. Inspection. When we speak about inspection here, we speak about the inspection report that's supposed to come from the conservancy officers, right? So we ensure all records are up to date in good condition, accurate and on compound. Speaking to Book A, Book B, and Book C. Ensure all logs on compound are recorded in Form A with all available information. Ensure that the layout of the mill is consistent with the submitted layout plan, including location of sawmill milling area, lumber yard, log yard, waste disposal, and office. Ensure that the serial number of the equipment listed on application is consistent with actual equipment. Ensure the sawmill is fully operational. Ensure land size and location is consistent with the guidelines and tenureship requirements. Tenureship shall be private lease in excess of 1 year or state commercial lease, and not state agricultural lease, state commercial lease. Here we have a copy of a sawmill inspection report. Basic information, name of sawmiller number 1, address of sawmill, telephone contact, name of owner, address, telephone number, address of owner. If there's an agent, you name the agent or the manager. Sawmill license from the previous year, date of issue, size of compound, land tenure, may it be commercial, residential, or lease or private. Hours of operation, machinery equipment installed, that's the head rig, right? Harvesting transport equipment, skidder, truck, tractor, and the information put here will be probably the model of the truck, the skidder, the truck registration number and model, tractor registration number and model. Other operations on compound, you may have a furniture shop or chipping, making chip, mulch. So you report that. Inspection report and log storage, how your logs are stored. It is quite necessary for us to have it at a safe distance away from the roadway, within the compounds and the confines of the particular sawmill, clearly demarcated and in a very safe, well-kept manner. Record keeping, Form A, B, and C, as we speak about that previously, up to date. They must be up to date at all times. All entries made, showing a sequence of what comes in and what has been cut up and converted. Forest/sawmill offense report in regards to if there's any outstanding forest offenses by the particular sawmiller that you're doing the inspection report for. Industrial health and safety issues, deal with condition of plant, maintenance of compound, operating conditions, and fire hazard. And we'll have general remarks and recommendations from the forester one. Of the inspecting officer date, owner, agent, manager date, comments of supervising officers, and they will sign off and submit this out together with all the other information that we spoke about before with the application. The returns, summary returns shall be submitted accurately and include accurate reflection on employment, lumber production, and operational time. I have a copy of the sawmill returns here. Name of sawmill, the license number, input logs, owner, customer, total, output board feet, which shows the same things, the breakdown from book A to B, right? And then we have the column here for labor, which speaks about skill on skill, total number of employed, total number of man days worked, right? And the applicant signs up on that. One of the things I'd like to touch on is that in the Sawmills Act, Chapter 66, Note 2, 9.1 speaks about the power of entry and inspection. And it reads, as I quote from the Sawmill Act here, the conservator, any forest officer, or any member of the police service may, at any time, when any sawmill is open or in operation, hours of opening and closing is important. So once the sawmill is open, can enter the premises on which any sawmill is situated for the purpose of inspecting the books and records required by the Section 8 to be kept, as the book A, B, and C, to be kept, and the timber and timber products therein situated, which means all the timber and lumber you will have on your compound at that given time, you have to make it available for these officers to inspect it at all times once your sawmill is operational and open. And the licensee of the sawmill or the manager or the person for the time being in charge thereof shall, on demand made by the conservator or the officer aforesaid, produce for inspection all such books, records, timber, and timber products, and shall answer truthfully all such questions as may be asked by the conservator or other officer aforementioned with reference to the books, records, timber products, or with reference to any of the entries in or contents of the books and records. Right? Failure to do so is an offense and is penalized by the punishable under the Sawmill Act, Chapter 6602. And we move on to application for new sawmill license. So basically, this is your first time on. If you now want to apply for a sawmill license, these are the guidelines. The conservator of forest, in accordance with the Sawmills Act, Section 4.4, may grant a license to operate a sawmill under the following terms and conditions. The sawmill makes an application to the Conservancy providing the following documents. Remember, the sawmill applicant makes the application to the Conservancy providing the document, not to FRIM directly, not to the FRIM unit, but to the Conservancy where the sawmill is located. And you will submit a deed, land and building tax receipt, if lease or lease arrangement, follow the said application form that we looked at previously. All right. Conservancy must make inspection to sawmill, filling out sawmill inspection form that we just looked at, and Form F19, verifying documents and sawmill and serial number. Basically looking at the sawmill itself, checking the serial number, and verifying all the documents that you'll be submitting. After that is done by the Conservancy sends a new application with inspection report to the FRIM section, which is then reviewed by the forest officers, confirmed by the ACF or FRIM, who directs the field officers in FRIM to do a final inspection to ensure the criteria are met before the license is issued. Right. So now we'll move on to furniture shop license. Definition of a furniture shop as quoted from the Sawmills Act 6602. Furniture shop, a place where wooden furniture are manufactured for sale or where wood is used in the manufacturing of furniture for sale. This is very important because in the past, we have some furniture shops saying that they are not furniture shops, they only build in cupboards, right? So for this convenience, I went into the Cambridge Dictionary and I found the definition of furniture. These are things such as chairs, tables, and quoting from the Cambridge Dictionary now. These are things such as chairs, tables, beds, cupboards, cabinets, desks, which are put into a house to make it suitable for comfortable living. So by definition, cabinets and cupboards are part of furniture, so it does fall under the definition of furniture shop, as quoted from the Sawmills Act, Chapter 662, and should be licensed. Mr. Ganesh, one of the reasons we seek to license furniture shops, we have observed through history that most of the material that are being harvested by the portable sawmillers, the ones that are not licensed, those who take these breakdown saws into the field and harvest from the state lands or even from private lands, most of those material end up in the furniture shop. No checks and balances. Larceny has been plagued by larceny, people stealing state produce or private land, innocent private land people who don't visit their estates regularly will go one month, 1 week and see several trees in their land, valuable species like cedar and mahogany being removed. They're just seeing the stump and sawdust and slabs and all the valuable material gone. So the reason we try to emphasize that furniture shops be licensed so we can have some checks and balances in knowing exactly what are some of where they're sourcing their material from. Right? Guidelines for the licensing of furniture shop.
According to the Sawmills Act 6602, here are some very important guidelines that should always be adhered to. No person shall operate a furniture shop without a permit issued by the minister in accordance with Section 3B. No person who operates a furniture shop shall convert logs into dimensional stock without a sawmill license granted under Section 4. A person who contravenes this section commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of $100,000 and imprisonment for 1 year. In furtherance to Section 3A, the owner or operator of a furniture shop shall apply to the director for a permit to so operate and shall pay a fee of $500 or such as the minister may prescribe by order, or such order shall be subject to negative resolution of Parliament. Where under coming into force of this act, a furniture shop is already in operation, the owner-operator shall be entitled to a permit subject to such condition as the director sees fit. And here's some of the checklist, some of the points we check for in licensing of furniture shops. So the furniture shop application name, they have the name, the address for it, the year of which they are applying for. And some of the things they check for is a completed application form, the inspection report,
which is done by the Conservancy. The furniture shop is located. The Conservancy will do an inspection report. We'll see that lower down in the presentation.
Inventories and equipment, inventories of vehicles and equipment, copy of previous year license, furniture return for previous year, copy of layout plan of furniture shop compound, evidence of purchase, transfer where applicable, verification of checklist and recommendation by the firm section, and we decide whether it's approved or not approved, and the conservator first then signs off.
Here we have an application to operate a furniture shop. So this is what the application form looks like. Very similar to the Sawmill application, right? Has all the details of the vehicle, the equipment, the owner's name, and the name of the furniture shop and the address of the furniture shop. So it's very straightforward. We have the inspection form, which is done by the Conservancy, the officer in charge of the range that the furniture shop is located. And it's very straightforward, just like the same inspection report we do for the Sawmill. Right? And we have an annual return, which will show us materials that were purchased, who it was purchased from, the amount of lumber, and also the labor. Just familiar, same procedure with the Sawmill returns, right? And a sample of a furniture shop permit, basically similar to the Sawmill's licensing permit.
We now move on to the sale of teak and pine. Each conservancy informs firm section of what is available for sale. They submit a teak and pine listing of available coops of rotation age.
So it has been customary that ever since that the conservancies every year will submit to the firm unit a list of all the units, all of the coops that they'll have available, both teak and pine, to the firm section. These coops are then confirmed on the ground that they are existing, the acreage, right? And then the firm section will demarcate the units into maybe 5 hectares or 2.5 hectares according to the availability and the amount of units we have, amount of fields that we have to cut up, right?
FRIM then collates its master list for sale after verification of these units. The permanent secretary approves a felon schedule decided on by the conservator of forest and director of FRIM. Units are assigned by means of a lottery system. Once sawmillers have completed their previous allocation, the completion certificate is issued and bond released. They will be invited to attend a lottery draw via email or phone. Date and time of the lottery draw are decided on by the permanent secretary, conservator of forest, and director of FRIM. Units are assigned to sawmills after the lottery draw, and they are asked to provide the FRIM unit with the necessary documents required for the qualification for a contract.
So the criteria for the qualification of a contract is not supposed to have an outstanding forest offense. You need the company registration, BIR tax clearance certificate, NIS compliance certificate, VAT registration certificate, and VAT compliance certificate. By now, we do have some, and especially with the COVID issue, that the last 2 years, we had problems in sawmillers acquiring these documents and submitting on a timely basis. But we are asking now that, knowing that the sale of the campaign will be in the shortcoming, that you all start to work on these documents. So when we request them, it'll be easy to access. So we'll have a steady flow of the transition from viewing the fields to signing up the contracts and having you all available for the contract signing, right? Persons not qualified are informed in writing about their shortcomings, right? So if you are not qualified based on the fact that you do not have, you have outstanding documents that you didn't submit, we'll write you and tell you exactly that you need to, we may give you a little time to acquire these documents to submit, right? And we'll, persons qualified are informed in writing, meaning that you have submitted and have fulfilled all the requirements. We will inform you in writing that you are qualified and we will give you a date to come in and sign your contracts. Viewing of fields takes place together with the Conservancy and FRIM. If interested, Forestry prepares contracts and a date is advertised for the signing process. Now, viewing of the fields takes place together with the Conservancy and FRIM. It is important that somebody is a reliable person is sent as a representative if the owner or the agent is not available to go and view the field. Because several times we run into difficulty where, yes, we take in this unit, we're going to sign a contract for it, and then when they actually go to work the unit, they probably realize that the stocking is not what they was expecting, or the general location of the field is a little challenge. So they tell us now that they want a replacement unit, and that causes a little problem for the FRIM unit in that when we know what we have, we know the amount of units we have available, and we issue them out based on the lottery system, and you all qualify for them. When someone comes back and tells us they don't want that unit, we have to get a unit to replace, or there's a unit there now that could be utilized by someone else. They have to go through the process of how could we give this unit now to someone else. So we ask that when the viewing time comes into play of the field, that you make sure you ensure that this is the field that you want. You view it properly. You walk the boundaries. You watch the general location of the field, is stocking, and then make a decision that yes, I want this unit or not. And move on. If interested, Forestry prepares contracts and a date is advertised for the signing process. Then a bond is submitted. The bond is submitted to head office, to the conservator's office, through the FRIM section, not to the conservancy. A copy of that bond, the original bond, stays with the conservator's office, and a copy of that bond is sent to the conservancy. An appointment for viewing field boundaries is made with the conservancy officer. This is where the actual sales operation starts. The conservancies now, the fields are returned back to the conservancies to do the sales operations. The conservancies will walk the boundaries with the contractor, the sawmiller, to verify this is your boundary. If it's white, code A, white in Tamana, 2.5 hectares, T. You walk it, you verify the boundaries, and you know that this is what is yours. You have to work within the parameters of this boundaries. You then submit a log haulage permit at the cost of $300 per equipment and a bulk removal permit of $50. A down payment is then made to start the work in the field. If they are not interested, they are to inform the conservator in writing by a designated date. That will come under viewing of fields take place. So if you're not interested, then you automatically write. If you're interested, the rest of it, interested forestry prepares the contracts and all of this will follow. But if you're not interested, you automatically write the conservator within a designated date. If you don't write the conservator within that designated time, we will consider you not interested, right? And the field will be taken back and reissued to someone else. Okay.
For any further questions, we also have some contact details available. So you can contact us at 225-3871, 225-3853, 225-3852, 225-3856, 225-3873, and you can also send an email at frim.forestry@gmail.com. So if you have any questions now, we now reach a point where we will answer some of your questions. So any questions, we will be taking it down.
Guess we have no questions, right? Come on, have some questions.
Okay, we have a question here. Good day. Can students or general public participate or get involved with FRIM and learn more about the process?
Obvious, for sure. With the contact numbers we have there and our email address, feel free to contact us and we will set up a date and a time for you to come in and we'll share some of the information that we have. There's a lot more that the FRIM unit does, right? But because of the time constraint, we couldn't actually explain everything. But feel free to call us at the numbers identified or email us and we'll set up a time and a date for you to come in to chat with us.
With that, we'll also try and provide as much information as possible, and we'll try to help as much as we could. So we'll move on and we'll wait further questions. Anything else, we'll answer.
Mr. Ganesh, is there anything you would like to add?
Not at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm seeing from Kevin Joseph, non-related questions about provisions of teak posts to other divisions under the Ministry of Agriculture and based at Research Division. I think if you could do up a letter writing to the Conservator of Forest, requesting this, he will see our best and we'll probably organize that through the system that we could probably entertain something of that nature.
Oh, we have one. Are there any reforestation drives to revive the lumber industry in Trinidad and Tobago? Yes, there are. There also are reforestation programs which take place throughout the country. They are available. They are available both northern division and southern. Feel free to send in your questions. We'll be willing to answer.
Okay, I'm seeing a question there in regards to the completion certificate. So in regards to the sale of teak and pine, the Conservancy, after we give the back the units to the Conservancy to do the actual sales operation, at the end of that process, the Conservancy is required to submit a completion certificate in regards to the contractor, the sawmiller, completing his unit. This completion certificate is to justify that he has completed his unit satisfactorily through the guidelines of the contract, and his bond could then be released. One of the things that we should have touched on is that the bond, posting of the bond, is for the purpose of the security that the contractor sawmiller will do what is required of him based on the guidelines of the contract. All royalties paid, no damage to the forest access roads, and yeah, and in this regard, a completion certificate is submitted from the Conservancy, which entails the senior for the forestry accompanying the sawmiller and the forester who did the releasing, the officer who did the releasing, to the field, walk the entire unit, the boundaries, ensure that all the material has been removed, that was merchantable material has been removed, all the material has been transported out, and roads are in good condition, and there is no material left back in the field. And then it furthers to this, it goes to the paperwork in the office, where the senior officer will check and verify that all the payments were made in regards to all the material that was released from that field, and all the receipts are available. Right? This completion certificate is then submitted to FRIM unit. The director will direct her officers to go back out to the respective Conservancy and verify that all payments and all receipts in this regard has been correct and accurate, and all licenses are corresponding with all the permits that were issued in the releasing of all the material from that particular unit. In this regard, it is just then come back to of the FRIM officer will then do a company document stating where he had checked and verified and everything was correct and accurate to the director of firm. Yeah, the director of firm will sign off and say that they are comfortable with the completion and the bond could be released to the respective sawmiller. Okay. Okay, we have one coming from, can I license more than one sawmill? Yes, you can license more than one sawmill, but it has to be treated as a separate entity. So you'll have to have all the prerequisites that we discussed today for this new sawmill. So it will be treated as a different sawmill. It cannot be on the same compound close proximity. It must encompass the same 10,000 square feet per sawmill, right? Must have its individual loading bay, all the particulars we spoke about, that we spoke about earlier. It must have, must be separate lumber yard, waste disposal area, the milling area, the administrative office. All these are things supposed to be separate if you're applying for a new sawmill, right? The process, as you say, the office is made to the conservancy, respective conservancy checks, submit all the documents together with the application and inspection form to the frame unit. In regards to this licensing of a new sawmill, the frame unit will go out and together with the conservancy and make a inspection also, verifying that all is well. And then a separate license will be issued for that sawmill. Okay.
Any more questions? Feel free to post your questions. I'll read a few more questions and
No more questions? Okay, thanks. We'll wrap up.
okay. Yeah.
So in closing, I would like to say that it was a pleasure sharing the information with you that we disseminated today. And I look forward to a cordial relationship with all the stakeholders in the Forestry Division, including the sawmillers, most of all, and in a convenient and easy transition during the way forward. I like to note also that the frame unit with our director is a very open door policy we operate by, and we seek to advance the Forestry Division in the positive light and have all mechanisms of the Forestry Division, meaning all the conservancies, sections and units, work together with us in a way forward to better in the Forestry Division. I thank you, and I ask Mr. Ganesh if there is anything else you'd like to say.
Well, I'd like to thank all the viewers for watching, and I'd also thank everyone who commented. Thank you all for your comments. And it was a pleasure sharing. It was good sharing this information. And any more questions, you can always contact us.
Thank you very much.